So today we have exercise 19, which is a continuation of the previous exercise. So we started last time with stapler, and we draw in orthographic drawing. That means multi-view, front, top, side, bottom, and so on. Today we will draw the isometric drawing of the stapler. Now these two drawings, I explained in the past that orthographic drawing and isometric drawing usually go hand in hand when you design something. So if I have a new design and I finalize it, I know its measurements, I usually have to draw it both in orthographic and isometric to clarify fully what my design looks like, okay? And I explained before that the orthographic drawing and the isometric drawing use measurements, use scale. So here we are talking about accuracy, okay? Accuracy. Now, the orthographic drawing needs to be completed before you start the isometric drawing. So the orthographic, for example, from last class needs to be finished. All the measurements accurate, everything details accurate, so that you can draw the isometric now. Because what you have here will be transferred to here, okay? Now, as I explained in the past, the point of the isometric drawing is basically to show the orthographic drawing, but as a three-dimensional view so that we can better imagine what this looks like. Now, you have the object, so you can't see it, but if this was a design, a new design, it's a little bit difficult to imagine all these details, what they will look like in 3D. So this is here a representation, but this is an accurate representation of the orthographic. So all the measurements that I have here will be transferred to here. This is if we use the same scale. So here we use, for example, 1:1 scale. Here, 1:1 scale. So we can immediately transfer all the measurements. If we use different scales, then it will be a little more difficult, okay? But here we use 1:1 scale because it's a small object. Here we will use 1:1 scale, okay? Scale 1:1, sorry. So now, how do we start this drawing? Now the basic rules of construction, everybody know. We have a ground line. We start with the two lines at 30-30 degree. We use the 30-30 degree until now. Of course, there is other ways like 45-45, but stay with what we learned until now to get used to it. Later in the future, any other variations you can apply. So 30-30, as usual, the two lines. And the next step is what? Here, what did we do before we draw the object? We draw the boxes, okay? The boxes which represent the maximum length, maximum height. So we draw the box. Here we will draw the box also. So, how do we know the length of the box? Well, we will take it from here. This is the length. How much is it? You transfer to here. Okay, what is the width? What is the width? This size, okay? We will find it in this view or this view, okay? You will take this measurement, you will place it here. What is the height? You have it here. This is the height, okay? Maximum height. Whatever it is, you place it here. So you transfer the measurement of the boxes here, and you will draw it as a fully, okay? Full object. Now, so once you have this box ready, you will know that your object will be inside. It should fit perfectly inside this box. Now, you need to also put the midline. You see this midline here? This is very important because this will guide us. It will help us to find points, to find locations of objects. If you don't put it, it will be very easy to get confused and to make mistakes. Because our object, if we put a midline through it, what we have from here, we have from here. So if I have a certain measurement, I know if I put here, for example, from here 1 centimeter, I have to put from here 1 centimeter, because the object is symmetrical, okay? So the midline helps us a lot. You need to put that. And here, of course, in your orthographic, I also told you to put the midlines, okay, in some of the views. Okay. So now we are ready to start with the actual drawing of the object. Where do we start, okay? Where? Well, it's better to start at the bottom, at the ground. Okay, so we will start with these here objects, and we will draw each one, and we will build up until we go towards the top. It's not a good idea to draw some detail here and then go here, and then it's a little bit confusing. So let's start from the ground and build up. Now, we need to do it carefully. Like when you draw, you need to do it carefully. I'm drawing it with freehand, okay? Now we need all the measurements to be carefully first identified, the location. Like, you will use all the views that you need. Okay, you have front, side, top view, bottom views, all the views that you need, you will take measurements from them. Now, this here view is which view? This, okay? This view, for example, here, will be this view. Now I can start from here, I can start from this view. Let me start from this one to identify the place of all of these details. So, on the drawing, I will have a measurement from here to here, how much? So of this object, how much from here to here, then the next one, then the next detail. So, let me identify it on the line. So this measurement, I transfer it to here. For example, it is in this location. Now, from where you measure, you can measure from this line, it's all correct, okay? And this line that I draw, it's just identification. Where is its height, okay? So that I don't make a mistake later. Then we have another detail. It will start, for example, here. Then the next detail, so we have a space here, okay? This space here, how much is that? I put it here, okay? For example, starts here. Then this object, which is this metal part here, where does it start? It starts here. Where does it end? It's just the heights, okay? Later we will find details, location. So, for example, it ends here. Oops. Okay, the lines, of course, have to be at parallel to the other lines. Let me fix them because they're not parallel. They have to be better drawn. So, you need to be careful that whatever you draw, it's parallel to the other lines, okay? Now, which object did we draw now here? So, now we are from here to here. We need this distance, which is from here to here. So, from here to the upper part. Now, okay, let me make this a little more up here. Doesn't look right. Okay. Now, I will start. I identified some of the heights that I will need. I will start to draw the lower part. So this object entirely I will draw. Now you need to look carefully. Where does it start? Does it start here or inside? Where does it end? Does it end exactly at the end of the box or inside? Okay? So we need to know, does it start from here, from this point? Or does it start from here or somewhere else? If it starts from here, let us draw it now. So if it starts from here, we need a ruler. Now I will draw it as a box. Now, for example, here we can have radiuses and this kind of stuff. You don't draw this immediately. You draw it straight, and then you identify the radius to prevent, mistakes from happening. So we will take it all the way to the back. And this we identified its height here. We will take it this way also. And then from this point to the back. And then connect these. Okay. As you can see, it is a box with edge, no curves, no radiuses. Now I will draw the next object, which have this height, and which is this object here, the second one. I will draw it on top, and I will draw this detail here as well, and then I will add some of the curves. Because these objects are stacked on top of each other, it's better to finish them as boxes and then to add the curves. So, the next object, what happened? Okay, it starts, we know its height, but it doesn't start at the edge. It doesn't. Look, it has a distance from here to here. So we need to measure that. From the drawing, you take whatever distance it is, and you mark it. Now, where to mark? You can mark it here, you can mark it here, but because it's on top of this object, just mark it here. The good with the isometric drawing, anywhere you put it, it's correct. So I can put it here, I can put it here from the midline, I can put it here, it's all correct, okay? It's not like perspective, there is no, so the object here will be the same size like here, if it's like that in reality. So it starts from here, so I will put a line that is parallel to the other lines, at 30 degrees. Okay. So it starts from here. Okay. It starts at this distance, but okay, does it start at the edge here? Okay, if it starts at the edge, I will draw it at the edge. Let's say it starts at the edge, it's just starting here inside. Okay, the height of it, how much? The height of this, how much? Well, we already identified it. So from here, okay, so this one will be in the middle. This is the mid. So, the height of it. So this was with the first one, and the second one I put where? Here. Okay, this one here. So, from here or from here, it's the same thing. Okay, you will take it as a straight line till the end. Now here at the end, don't forget, it's also, you know, where does it start, where does it finish? You need to identify this, not to make a mistake. So from the end here, you see this distance that we left from here, we need to leave the same from here. Okay? So it will end in this location. Okay, let me also connect these two here. Now we have this object here at the bottom with another object on top. Both are like rectangles, you know, like straight lines, everything. Now I will add, before I will add the curves, I will add this detail here. This detail, it has measurement. It has length, width, and a thickness to it. Okay, so I will add this measurement. Now, where is it located? So, okay, so this distance from here to here, so the starting point of our line, from here to here, how much? From here to here. Where does it start and where does it end? So, where does it start? We need to mark it here, line up, okay? Line up, and then continue, and then from here, parallel line to the other lines. So it starts at this line, okay? Because from here to here is, or from here to here, or from here to here, it's this distance. Now where does it end? What is its measurement? Okay? We need to identify where does it end. Again, so this distance from here to here now, you need to identify where does it end. Okay, what about this line and this line, where is that going to be located? So this line and this line, where is it going to be located? Well, you can look at this view now, because you have here the start point. Okay? So from the box, this distance and this distance, of course they're the same distances. So from here and from here, we need to leave whatever the number is, for example, but you don't need to do it on this line. You can do it directly on this line, you know, because this is isometric. So, for example, I have these two lines. I need to know the distance inside. I can measure from here, okay? I can measure, and from here, the same thing, and that's it. Identify my space that I need, okay? And then put the lines back. So this is, for example, the object that I need. So, on the line itself, you don't have to start from here, put straight lines up, go. No, 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 on the place exact. Now, it has a thickness. It has a thickness, okay? So, you need to, of course, draw the thickness, whatever it is, here. The thickness you will take from here also. You can measure it here, is it 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, whatever, or from here, and immediately here you measure, you put, okay? Whatever the thickness is. Okay. Now, let us put some of the curves, some of the radiuses on these two objects. So whatever you have. Now, I will do also an example, but you know, everyone's objects will be different. Now, first of all, this here part, here at the bottom, you know, this part, this edge, it is not an edge, it has a slight curve to it. So, we need to modify this curve to be like this. So, this one is not straight line, and this one not straight line. It will have a slight curve. So, where does the curve start, and where does it end, okay? And this is the midpoint, very important, where the curve need to touch. It's like when we draw the circles, the same thing. Okay, it will have that point. So it needs to start here and okay. So the bottom part, the same thing. So we will put here a line down. Yes, the tip of the curve will touch the end of the box, but the rest not. So be careful about this. Now this line continues back. Now from the back here we have a slight radius from the back, from here and from here, but we don't, this is straight here at the back. So we will not make curvature like this. Of course you will see from your drawing, whatever you have, you translate here. Now, this object has, let's say, okay, let's leave it like this for now. Now, this object here, we will make, actually in reality it also has, so a radius from here, a radius from here, and a radius from here. So how do we draw that? So this is the box here that we make, okay? This is the box. Now, we have a radius from here. We need to say where is its starting point, where is its end point. How do we measure that? I explained last time. Start point, end point, we measure as straight lines. Any curve, any thing at an angle, you measure the straight line of it. So start point, end point. So this, the height we already know it, but where is its start point from here to here? We need to measure. We will have the same from the other side. So this one will connect. So this point will connect here, this point will connect here. Okay, now this edge will disappear. Instead, we will see this. Okay. Now, if we have a radius from here and from here, then again we need to draw it. And this line here, which is one line, will become two lines now. Okay? Will become two lines. So, this here line in the middle will disappear. Okay. So, it will become two lines. So, from this side we will see it, but very little. I will not draw. So, from here we have a curve, from here we have a curve. Okay, I'm not following exactly, the object, but just in general to know how to approach when you have this situation. So you draw it as straight first, and then you identify where the curves are going to be, radiuses, and you add them. Now this object here, it's everything is straight, there is nothing, no curves, no radiuses, we leave it as it is. We add details, like sometimes you have, other details here on it. You will add it wherever they're located, whatever details here. Okay, now this not freehand. Again, you need to look carefully. Where does it start? So I can measure, for example, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, or from here to here, but in a 30-degree angle. Be careful when you measure, not to measure, for example, okay, I need to measure this line and to twist the line like this. No, it needs to go at 30-30, so parallel to the other lines, okay? So if you make this mistake, the measurements will not be accurate. So just be careful about this. Okay, now, of course, if you have here, of course, you will also have the curves. So this line here, from here to here, this line will disappear. Where is the start point of my radius? Okay, from here. So the start point, okay, and the end point always, and the two lines appear. So the midline, whatever midline as a corner, as an edge we have, will disappear. Now the next object that we will draw on top of these two, let me just dot these lines because not to get confused. Anything that's at the back you want to leave, just leave it as dotted lines because you will have a lot of lines on top of each other. The next thing to draw logically is this one here, okay, this object. Now, on the views, on your orthographic, you will know the thicknesses, you will know the height, and the length, and the width. So, we will draw this as a box first, as a box, before we draw details. So, from where does it start? Okay, so I can measure immediately from here. So this is here, the middle of this line. From here I can measure. So this here, you see this midline, okay? Or I can measure this line, half of it should be the middle because this is isometric, okay? So from the midline, how much inwards does it start? From where does it start? Okay, so on top of this object is this object, on top of it is this. So it starts from, okay, you will look at your drawing. From where does it start? This distance, from here to here, you see? Does it start on top of the second object? Does it start inside? Whatever. So this distance, you will place it. It should start from here to wherever it reaches, or from this line inwards. So if you decide, here is where it starts, if it starts exactly at where the curve ends of the second object, then we will start from here. But where does it end? Okay, where does it end? So you need to measure the maximum distance, not only this one. If it has, for example, a curve, you need to measure the maximum distance, the maximum, okay, and place it. So, for example, from here to here, let's say, okay. And we will place a line at 30 degrees so we don't make a mistake. So this line, okay, at parallel to the other line, so we know it starts from here, ends here. What about from here and from here? How much to leave? Well, it should be visible on one of your drawings. Like this object, not visible on the front view, but from the side, you should have it drawn here. So from here, for example, to here, how much? Okay. So you need to know from here to here how much. If you have a midline, let's say this is the midline. Let's put it with the green. The midline on top of this object, okay? So this is here the midline. You can easily measure what you put from here, you will put from here. So if this is, for example, here 4 centimeter, we will put here 2 and here 2. Or you can measure from the start line, okay, from the edge here. You can measure here and here. For example, how much is the distance from here to here and from here to here. So there is more than one way to measure, more than one way. Okay, let's decide. We will put it here. So, important is what you do from one side, you do from the other side. What measurement you have here, you have the same on the other, because this is the object. It is symmetrical, okay? Not to have here less, here more, here, you know. So, exactly, okay? Now, we will put this up as a box. Here up. Now, the height from where? Again, from your drawings, okay? So, for example, from this drawing, from the ground till wherever this object is, what is this, for example, height, okay? Or, you don't need to measure from the ground. You can measure from where it starts. You see, from where it starts, on top of the two objects, this is more easy. And where does it end, okay? So, this distance, we can measure from here to here, for example, okay? And we draw the lines at 30 degrees. And we connect. Don't get carried away. Make sure everything you draw goes parallel to the other lines. They should be all at 30 degrees. Now, we draw this as a box. Now we have to draw the details. So, for example, the thickness is how much? You don't need to measure because you have it on the drawing. If it's 2 millimeter, 1 millimeter, whatever you put. So, from where you measure the thickness? This part will have a thickness, this part will have a thickness. From this point, like for example, ½ centimeter. From here to here, half, and from here to here, half. That's it. And you will put the line up, and you will put from here the line up. Okay. Now, and from here back, and back. Now, here we will have a space. This is open. Okay, so we can delete this one now. Now, this is still a box, you know, but this object, for example, have inclination at an angle. So when we draw this box here, we have actually this space and this space now to consider. So from here to here, how much? You put from here to here. Okay, and then once you decide where is this point, you can easily take it to the other side. It's located here, and then connect. Connect. If it is a curve, if it is straight, you know, you connect it, whatever its shape is. Or we can do something else. This is because we are not following exactly the object, just as example. Let's say, for example, this is straight, but here we have a radius and here we have radiuses. So what to do? Well, if this is, for example, straight here, like this, but it have a radius on the top. So it can be a big radius. Let's say, for example, starting from here, ending here. So a very big. So how do we draw that? Well, we have these 2 points. To find it on the other side, okay, we need to do this. And here is the, here is the end here and here. Now, we connect the points. Okay? And then this box, you can either leave it or just lightly, it should be lightly drawn. Huh? Okay, this one here will go. So, when we have a radius again, we will have a line for the start, a line for the finish, and they should go again at 30 degrees. Okay. Okay. Like what other details? There can be a lot going on here at the back. There can be other shapes, whatever. Okay, you will do it as it is, depending on the stapler you have. Now, I will stop with this object here, leave it like that. Now, let's continue the drawing. What do we have on top? Well, we have this here object. We already found the location of this metal piece, which is this. We found the location. Where is it going to be located, which is this line. And we found the location where this object starts, which is this point here. So we already found it in the beginning. Now, we need to continue. Now I can draw this metal part here. What is its size? I know where it starts, like it starts from the ground here, but what is its size from here to here? From here to here, we need to put it here now. So this is here the midline. What I put here, I need to put here. So if 1 centimeter from here, I need to put also 1 centimeter from here and draw it. Now, okay, I will not draw it still because I need to check another thing. Okay, it's 1 centimeter, let's say, from here and 1 from here, but it doesn't start at the edge. It starts inside. So how much inside? Okay, so it should be like, if I put this line here, it means it starts exactly at this face, but it doesn't. It starts inside. So from here, for example, 1 centimeter from here, how much inside? This space, you need to, this space, okay? This space you need to transfer to here. So if it starts here, then these 2 lines will go here, and we will start the object here. So how much this space is, you will decide, so depending on the drawing, and you will start the object in this location. Now, does it go straight back? Does it go at an angle? You know, it's different from one object to another. Till the back, here, till the back. Now, some of these details will be covered, okay? When I draw the top object, they will be hidden, so I will not continue it until the back. So, important, where is this location now? This here, and whatever other details you have inside, again, you need to find their location, draw these details, the small details, whatever you have here, okay? Whatever they are, you need to find and draw also. Now, and this line will go back here. Okay. Now, on top of this object, we have this object here, which is this, okay? So, now, the start point, which is this point, we already found it. But, so, from the ground, it starts here, or from the ground, it starts in this point. So, this line here. But, does it start at the face itself, at the edge? Yes. The point is touching this line. So we need to start here. We need to start here, for example. So let me just redraw some of the box lines because they're deleted now. Okay. So if we decided that from the ground its height is this, okay, from here to here, then this will be our line, and it touches the edge, it touches the face of the box, yes, because the corner is here, but where is this location here? So we need to measure, this height we already know, we need to measure now this space. So this space from where to measure? From this here. So from here to here, how much in? How much in? To know where this point is going to be located. So if we decide it's going to be, let's say, where? Here somewhere, we'll put it, okay? To find it here, we just put a line at 30 degrees or parallel to the other lines. Okay? So it's going to be located here, the other point. Now, this point will connect to this point to this point. Notice everything is straight again. Curves, radiuses, we will put later. Now, at the back, this point, where is it located? So we know where to connect them, okay? This point with what to connect, where on this line, okay? So this height from here to here needs to be found, which will be from the ground to wherever it's going to be located. For example, here, if I decide the point is here, then this point I will connect here. So now I can start with a straight line and later make whatever curve it is, or just okay. Wait, let me delete this line here. There is another problem here we didn't do correct. What's the problem? Well, okay, we found this, but in reality our object is not wide like the box. Look here. This is our box from here to here. But this object is smaller. So we cannot make it like this from here to here. We cannot. So it will be smaller. It will start inside. So from here to here, how much? From here to here, how much? So from here to here, and from here to here. And, of course, they have to be the same. Now we can draw the object correctly. So these two, if we draw it like this, it means it's as wide as the box, but it is not. It is shorter. So we will delete this and this. But you can start like that to make sure you have all the locations correct. Okay? So this is the size that we want. Now, we cannot connect this point to this point. We know the height, which is this, but the object will go inside. So how much inside? Draw a line. Now measure from here to here how much, and from here to here how much, depending on your drawing. From what I see here and the object, it's the same size. So what I put here, from here to here and here to here, the same from here and the same from here. Okay? Now we connect the points again. So let me. Okay. So we connect this point with this point. And this point with this point. Now be careful, does this end at the end? Yes, it ends at the end, so we did it correct here, okay? Okay. Okay, now, I can connect this point with this point, depending on whatever shape it is here. It can go straight or as a curve. Now I will simplify it. I will make it a little bit as a curve, connect these two. Okay. Okay. But we have other problems to solve. One of the problems is that in reality, for example, this is not straight, this is not straight, okay? So now we can add the radiuses. So start point, end point of the radius. And here we take it to the other side. So it will become 2 lines instead of 1. 2 lines, okay? Now, but we also have a radius from here and a radius from here. So we need to identify, okay, maybe this is big, this is small. It can be 2 different type of radiuses. If this is a small radius, so this will go up here, this will go up. Now this will disappear, and this one will become like this. From this side, we will also see a double line. Now, this line here will continue, so all this edge will disappear. It will continue back. And from here back. And the line in the middle needs to be deleted. And from this side, the same thing you will have. So you will be able to see 2 lines from here, not 1 line. Now all of these curves and this, not freehand, you will use the French curves. The French curves, okay, you need to find a suitable curve to draw. Later you will see examples of other students' work. You will see excellent, very clean, very tidy work. So you can obviously do it as well. Okay. Now, okay, this object we already make it, but it got deleted here a little bit. This one. So wherever it starts. Sometimes even the metal here piece have a radius. So for example, if we made it a 1 edge, we need to now put 2 lines if it has a radius. Please, you need to look at the small details, okay? Not in general when you draw. Okay. So this is here straight. We make this straight. This with a curve. This one straight. This up. Straight. Okay. Just to clarify, nothing else. Okay. So I will not complicate it more than this, because anyway, you will not be drawing the same object. Everyone will have a different stapler. So, but this is the technique, how you start, how you continue, build it from bottom up. Everything straight lines, and then slowly you look at the object, decide about the radiuses. Is it a large, is it a small radius, does it have from both sides, from one side? You know, all these details you will add later. And any small details you will add at the end, the tiniest details, okay? Okay, now, anything at the back or hidden, you can put with dotted lines. If you show me that hidden objects, that's better, so that you don't make any mistakes with the construction, and also I will consider it in the drawing. I will consider it better than just the main, like lines. So, any questions about this? Now, as I said, scale 1 to 1. On one Fabriano sheet, you will draw this object, but you need to complete this first. If you have any mistakes here, the measurements you transfer to here will be wrong. So be careful. Another advice, before you start drawing this with the measuring, details, all of this stuff, draw the box and then put a paper on top, like a butter paper, tracing paper, put on top, and I advise you to try to draw this freehand. So for example, just look visually, look at this object, try to draw it, just to understand the shape. Like understanding the shape as a sketch. Like what I'm doing now here, I'm drawing freehand, okay, I'm not using measurements. Once you understand the shapes, once you understand the curves, then remove that butter paper and start measuring, but you have a better understanding of what you are doing, okay? Instead of getting lost in a lot of lines and then start making mistakes. So, draw always freehand, have this box just as a guideline, and look at that drawing, draw. Look at that drawing and draw. Look, draw, look, draw. After that, when you do it with the correct measurements, there is higher possibility that you will come up with a correct drawing, okay? Now, this is it basically. Let me just close the video. This one here.